Good morning, Phoenix. As many of you know, my name is Olivia Arellano, and I am your student body president and PBS executive director. But today, I stand before you as something much more important. I am here as a grateful friend, as your Phoenix family. When I entered these doors as a sixth grader, I was terrified. I remember coming in knowing it was going to be a new experience with new people who were nothing like the people I had known for so long. I remember wanting to succeed so badly, but walking the halls with my head down, working hard on getting good grades, but mostly just hoping to get through the day. It wasn't that I didn't want to fit in. It was just that this new world was so big I didn't know how to. I fondly remember a moment in town hall when Mrs. Ortiz was launching us. Her speech was filled with wisdom, grace, and dignity. But it was her chosen moment of vulnerability that was a defining moment for me as a sixth grader. She stood up here, looked around the room, and said, "I love you." Those words were something I was lucky enough to hear from my family, but it was in that moment of hearing them from her that I realized I was home. From that day forward, I picked my head up. I walked a little taller. I started to see the world a little differently. But by the end of sixth grade, one huge goal I had set had not been accomplished. I walked out of sixth grade wingless. Now, I wasn't devastated. I understood what needed to be done in order to get them. But still, as many of you might feel sometimes, I was frustrated. I had followed every rule. My shirt was always tucked in. I lived by the RISE guidelines, and I tried to go above and beyond, but still nothing. Fast forward to seventh grade, and I came in ready. I knew my goal needed to be to get my wings. I worked so hard. I continued to follow the rules and did my best to be the best I could be, but still, as Christmas break passed, I was wingless. Instinctively, though, I pushed on. Actually, it wasn't an instinct. It was a choice. At any moment in this journey, knowing that my sole desire was to earn my wings, knowing it wasn't happening, I could have gone another way. I could have blamed other people, given up on my goal, and been too stubborn to see what opportunities were ahead of me. But had I done that, life wouldn't be the same. You see, I needed not to get my wings until February of my seventh grade year. It was in that moment that I was asked to be in a wing video that explained what wings mean to those who receive them. I look back now at the doors that opened from that moment. That single moment led to amazing opportunities to get to know so many of you on a personal level. Opportunities to stand shoulder to shoulder with all of you and to continue to create an incredible legacy. I look back in amazement at our time together, especially this year, and I encourage you to never lose hope in the things you're willing to work the hardest for. Because you see, sometimes it takes a little time to get to the good part. But when you get there, and you will get there, if you never give up, it's what you do next that matters most. I stand before you today with my platinum wings, not just as your student body president or PBS executive director, but as a testament to the fact that if you make the choice to never give up, the best things are waiting on the other side. I stand here as living proof that the universe has a curious way of making everything come full circle. I stand here looking back on the last 3 years, knowing that if even the smallest thing had gone differently, the entire course of this journey probably would have been altered, and I wouldn't have had the opportunity to serve you this year, which in my opinion is one of the greatest honors I've ever been given. One day, when I am much older, I will tell my children about this place. I'll reflect on a time here and tell them the stories of strangers who became family and the building that became home. I will tell them that some of us go through life with our heads down, focused on our craft and our tasks, building our resumes, protecting our individual interests, and others amongst us will go through life with our heads up. As a real part of a team or family, alert and aware of others, embracing difference, showing empathy, genuinely connecting, putting collective interest ahead of your own. It's a choice. The former approach, keeping our heads down, seems safer and more efficient, and I guess sometimes it may be. The latter, connecting, keeping our heads up, allows us to lead and every now and then to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. and therefore to truly triumph. I know I will tell them these things because I have tried it both ways. I will tell my kids we all have our wingless moments. There will be times when everything you have been wanting, everything you have worked so hard to earn, feels like it's moving further and further away from you in what feels like an unfair circumstance. This I will tell them, like I say to you now, is called life. But when these moments happen, and they will you be walking alone with your head down, full of regret, trying to decide who to blame? Or will you be shoulder to shoulder with the people who love you, connected, with your heads up, giving and receiving support? It is true that I began my journey in this school with my head down. The narrow approach worked for a while, but it certainly had its limits. I had to grow. I had to meet so many of you. I had to be changed by your love in order for this to make sense. The truth, as we have proved over and over again, is that everything you do, no matter how big or small, matters. The heartbeat you bring to the school matters. Fears and aspirations matter. Your impact on others matter. The words you say, the things you do, that all matters. Breaking down cliques and overcoming stereotypes in our hallways matter. Who you are, how you live, among others, that all matters. Because you contribute to everything around you, and as we have learned together, I matter, you matter, we matter. When I sit back and I think about how many things needed to happen to be in this moment right now, it almost becomes too much for my head to wrap itself around. I think of the things and people that would be much different if the events in my life were altered even an inch, and how life is a game of trusting the age-old saying of everything happens for a reason. So I say this to you as someone who has loved each of you firsthand. I am thankful and in awe of what you can accomplish when given the space to be free, to let your personalities out, and to figure it out. I am truly inspired by the traits that distinguish Phoenix from anyone else. Your diversity, your boldness, your optimism, your tolerance, your treatment of each other based on substance rather than the labels that used to divide us. I am so excited to see what lies ahead for all of you. While there will undoubtedly be times here and there when you have to suck it up, follow the rules, and tuck that shirt in, I urge you to remember that in the end, even if you think it doesn't, it matters. At the beginning of the year, when we were giving student council speeches, I challenged you to continue building a school that is safe and full of opportunities. I challenged you to spread love that this world couldn't even comprehend. I challenged you to be the type of student that is always accepting, hopeful, forgiving of mistakes, and who knows someone is always there willing to endure your rough patches with you, because everyone, in my eyes, has the potential to be who they are in their hearts, which is Phoenix. These words ring as true to me now as they did that day. This school deserves to be given back more than it has given us, which for many of us is everything. It deserves to be a place that is safe and full of opportunities, a place that loves you more than you can comprehend. It deserves to remain accepting, hopeful, forgiving of mistakes, and the place where many of us rose through the ashes to become the incredible humans we are today. The school deserves our love, our respect, and everything we have left in our hearts. Because I think everyone in this room knows that there will come a time in that uncertain future when you will need to come home. And I have no doubt in my mind this place will be here to welcome you home in a way much bigger than you or I deserve. So I'd like to issue one last challenge. The challenge is simple. I challenge you to learn, to live, and to believe. Learn from the past, live in the present, and believe in the future. If you are able to maintain these three things, then you will always be reminded that absolutely everything has its purpose. Everything matters. My name is Olivia Arellano, and I am extremely grateful to have had the opportunity to walk this journey with you this year. Always remember that I love you.